The desert remembers everything. The wind erases footprints, but not the blood beneath the sand. In early November 1942, the Battle of El Alamein was over. The Afrika Korps, once feared as an unstoppable force, was broken. But the men of Rommel's army were not all gone. Some survived, not through victory, but through endurance. This is the story of those who fought, starved, marched, and refused to surrender, the last soldiers of the Desert Fox. When the guns fell silent at El Alamein, more than 50,000 men lay dead or missing. The rest, Germans, Italians, Austrians, Czechs, began the long retreat west. Rommel's headquarters radioed Berlin. The army is exhausted. We have no fuel, no ammunition, and no replacements. But Hitler refused withdrawal. His order was clear: stand and die where you are. Rommel ignored him. He knew that to stay was annihilation. So began a retreat across 1,500 miles of desert, from El Alamein to Tunisia, a journey of death, dust, and willpower. The retreat was chaos. Thousands of trucks clogged the desert tracks, engines dying from heat and sand. Fuel shortages meant tanks were towed by half-working vehicles. Others were abandoned and blown up by their own crews. Day after day, British reconnaissance planes hunted them from the sky. There was no cover, only sunlight and death. Yet the discipline of the Afrika Korps held. German engineers kept machines running with wire, sand filters made from socks, and oil mixed with cooking grease. Letters recovered later spoke of exhaustion. We sleep in shifts under the vehicles. One soldier wrote, "The sun burns by day, the cold cuts at night. We eat sand with every meal." Still, they marched. In December 1942, Rommel reached the Libyan city of El Agheila, a natural defensive bottleneck. Here he decided to make one last stand. He reorganized what was left, barely 60 tanks, a few thousand men, and the same indomitable spirit. Montgomery advanced slowly, cautious not to fall into another of Rommel's traps, but the trap never came. Rommel attacked once more, and for a moment the Desert Fox returned. British lines bent, but did not break. By the end of the week, his fuel was gone. Rommel's diary noted simply, "The desert has defeated us." He began another withdrawal, west toward Tripoli, his empire shrinking with every mile. For the men, survival became routine. They built makeshift stoves from shell casings, brewed coffee from scorched barley, and wrote letters that would never reach home. Water was life. Each man received half a canteen per day, barely enough to drink, let alone wash. Fleas, dysentery, and heat stroke were constant enemies. Yet even here, the soldiers kept discipline. Each morning they shaved, cleaned weapons, saluted, as if still on parade in Berlin. Captured British officers often wrote of their respect for Rommel's men, their order, their humanity. Prisoners were treated fairly, given food before their captors ate. They were soldiers, not monsters, and that made their struggle even more tragic. By January 1943, the Desert War changed forever. The Americans had landed in North Africa, Operation Torch. Now Rommel faced three armies, the British from the east, the Americans and Free French from the west, and the Allies in the air. The Afrika Korps dug in around the Mareth Line, old French fortifications near the Tunisian border. They fought with what little remained, rusted guns, captured fuel, and sheer willpower. At Kasserine Pass, February 1943, Rommel struck the Americans, and for a brief, shining moment, he won again, but victory could not be sustained. Allied numbers were overwhelming, their supply endless. In March, Rommel was ordered home to Germany, officially for health reasons. He never returned to Africa. Without their commander, the Afrika Korps fought on under General von Arnim. By May 1943, surrounded near Tunis, they had no food, no ammunition. On May 13, 1943, the guns went silent. 250,000 Axis soldiers surrendered. the largest German capitulation before Stalingrad. For many, the war was over. For others, it had just changed location, to prison camps in America, Canada, and Egypt. There they waited, farming and writing letters home, until 1946. One former corporal later said, "We lost Africa, but we kept our honor. We fought like soldiers, not like murderers." Today, the sands of North Africa hide the bones of thousands, their names erased, their machines turned to dust. The Afrika Korps became a legend, not for conquest, but for endurance in the face of the impossible. Rommel once wrote, "The desert is cruel, but it is honest. In its silence, the echoes of war remain. For those who fought beneath the burning sun, the desert was both their battlefield and their grave."